Please repeat after me. Amatu Panatir.
Amatu Panatir.
Sawet Tuamet Panatir.
Sawet Tuamet Panatir.
Autu Auma.
Autu Auma.
Kezipa Heru.
Kezipa Heru.
The translation?
Give yourself to God daily. Keep yourself for God daily. And may tomorrow be as today.
We give homage to the Creator, who is like our Father and who is like our Mother, who is everything that we can perceive and everything that we cannot perceive, who is everything yet is no thing, who comes to us in the form of the Netzru Ra, who is the light of the heavens, the light of the inner planes, as well as the light of our lives, who shines the light for us on the path of Ma'ati, which is the path of truth, justice, righteousness, and harmonious balance, who comes to us in the form of the light of vitality, giving us the strength and the endurance to live and act upon that which we know to be true. Homage to you, the one who shines in and through us as a beacon of light for those who are blind to the facts of their place, their positions, and their responsibilities in the divine scheme of things. May we be Ma'akaru, true of thought, word, and deed, to our highest reality. And in the moments of crises, in the dark nights of the soul, when it appears that everyone and everything else has let us down, so it is and so shall it be. Everyone say, Amen Ma'at.
Amen Ma'at.
Ma'akaru.
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 MC. Good morning, Facebook, or afternoon. Good afternoon, Facebook and YouTube. Dua for being patient with us. I know it's a little after 1 o'clock, but we had a lot of joys and messages to share with ourselves as a community this afternoon. Those of you who have attended in person, you know that the YouTube and Facebook family do not get a chance to be a part of our opening of the way ceremonies, our Dua'u ceremonies, our libation ceremonies, etc. And then we have a community moment where we share amongst ourselves. We had a lot of sharing going on, a lot of joys. Our big joy, of course, being the opening of a new Kemmunion year. Duaneta for that. We had a beautiful, glorious celebration yesterday. I'm so, so grateful. Over the next couple of months, we will have members of our community sharing words of wisdom and insights about the tradition at the podium. So 2 weeks ago, you all got to hear from the Kopesh Kefresh for the very first time. And today, you guys are going to be honored with the opportunity to hear from one of our members of our Saru, Wabet Shemset. She's going to come up and share a few words on community and the importance of sticking together as a group. Wabet, you ready? All right.
Everyone. I just want to take the opportunity to reintroduce myself as Annette just did, but I am Wabet Shemset Ra Ali Nefer. I am a Wa priest, also known as a priest of purification here at the Temple of Anu. I also serve as one who initiates, officiates, and carries the rituals and ceremonies that we conduct here at the temple in the role of elector priest under the direct instruction and supervision under our Perheb Nesedi, our Hemet and Bar Ma'at, and our Nesut Vidi Rasa Food Heber. So I welcome you all here today, and I welcome you all here who are online tuning in. So we just came off a high power and high charge Kemetic Web Pet New Year celebration this past yesterday, right? And what we did was we honored and acknowledged the birth of the 5 next group. So we acknowledged the birth of Asar, Heruor, Setesh, Aset, and Nebahet. And for the first time, we also honored Heru Sabdu. And we will continue to do this every 4th year on leap years as a result of the research that was brought forth for our own sessions to our temple scribe, Sanjay Angra Ali Nefer. So So yesterday during our celebration, we had libations, we had offerings, we danced, we sang, we gave Hesse words of power, words of healing. And what we also did was we got to observe the different people, the different initiates, and they spoke about their testimonies of their challenges and their growth that they went through this past year. Those are the ones who pulled Tefret, or also referred to our divine scrolls, the divination. And they pull these Tefrets to determine what groups they will be in, and as far as the Haru group, the Asar group, and from that determines the course of the path of what Neteru will govern this year. At that time that we pulled the scrolls last year, we also made that commitment to work together to help build one another, build with one another, and support one another. So those who have never attended our Weapon Pet ceremonies, I want to briefly explain a little bit more in detail what we do. So we individually, we each pull the divination scrolls. We choose the Neteru that we're going to work with, or shall I say the Neteru chooses us. With those scrolls also comes a reading, and those readings serves as a roadmap to help guide us, give us counsel, give us insight of things we need to help make our path a little bit easier. Yesterday, it was also a great feeling to see all of our children who are in attendance, because the children were able to have fun, they were able to play, and they were still able to be children. And so this communion message is also for our children, because it will allow them and us the opportunity to step outside ourselves briefly so that we can look inside of ourselves. So you are all familiar with this story, where is he? The Wizard of Oz, right? Okay. So basically the beginning of The Wizard of Oz starts off with Dorothy and her little dog Toto, and they're running for shelter because they're just caught up in the middle of a storm, a cyclone to be exact. So the cyclone takes them and their house away, takes them far away, and then they land. And they land onto the Wicked Witch of the East and kills her. So as soon as that happens, the beautiful witch of the North, Glinda, she shows up and she takes the shoes from the witch that can no longer utilize them, and she passes them on to Dorothy. And she tells Dorothy, I'm aware of what happened, but you will be okay. What you need to do is to follow the yellow brick road, find the wizard, tell the wizard what it is that you seek and what you need, and he will help you. So she proceeds with her dog down to the yellow brick road. And on their way, they come upon 3 other companions. Can you tell me who they were? The Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Tin Man. And everyone who she came upon, they were all in need of something that would make them feel a little bit more whole, a little bit more balanced, a little bit complete. They were all seeking some level of healing, some level of happiness, and some level of peace. So she offered for them to accompany her down the yellow brick road. So what did Dorothy want on that journey? What was she trying to get? What did she need? What was she lacking?
Get back home.
She wanted to get back home. So basically her trying to get back home was her trying to get back to her center. So she was experiencing a sense of instability, a loss of her sense of security, and she was basically uprooted, literally, right? She was uprooted. So going through that type of situation, we see this young girl full of innocence, but also afraid, because everything that she knew that made her who she was, particularly family, was no longer there. So part of that innocence gets lost because you are now forced to not only face challenges, but it makes you grow.
Right.
But not only was she afraid because she was by herself, she was also brave.
Right.
Because she now knew that she had to take whatever resources, whatever opportunities, come upon strangers when she had to, so that she could get the resources to get back to what she wanted, which was her center, her foundation. Does anybody know anyone like that has happened to?
Two.
So next we have the lion. And what did the lion want?
Courage.
The lion wanted courage. And some of us can relate to him. So, especially us in the room. So when you're born or reborn as the sons and daughters of Ra, there is a level of, that's blank. That's green, is that okay? There is a certain level and standard of expectations that is expected of us. And we are expected to uplift and uphold charge. And the charge is in our name, in our rank. So we definitely know what we're capable of and what we can achieve. The inner conflict comes in is when you're not living up to your potential, especially when you know you were given a name. You know what your charge was, and you know what your power is. So just like the cowardly lion, when we have that inner conflict with ourselves, that affects and shows up in symptoms of low self-esteem, low self-worth. You begin to doubt yourself, and when you begin to outwardly show that you doubt yourself, people will begin to doubt you. The other thing, other than being a coward and having this fear, is a result of him, the lion, being riddled with a lot of shame and guilt. Again, because he's not living up to his potential, and that is that of being a lion, a leader. Who's next on that road? There was the Tin Man. What was the Tin Man lacking or in need of?
Heart.
A heart. So the Tin Man is a man. So just like you and I, he was made of blood, flesh, and bone. And by trade, he's a woodsman. So by trade, he was a wood chopper. That's why he carried an axe. So his job, his function, was to chop wood. So because of his function, people were able to have shelter because of the wood. People were able to have fire because of the wood. So he was a productive man. And he was a man that people respected. And people appreciated him. He happened to fall in love. And the person he wanted to marry, the Wicked Witch of the West now, she did not approve of this union. So what she did was she enchanted or she cursed his axe. So every time he went to be productive and create and actually give life, because everything he created helped us with our life, the axe would turn against him. His tool would turn against him. So as he started to work, he would somehow cut himself, hurt himself by the actions he was doing, directly and indirectly. So little by little, he would cut and hurt himself, limb by limb. He happened to have a friend who worked with tin. So every time he chopped and removed a part of his body, his friend who worked with tin would help restore the pieces. So it happened so often that his entire being was now tin. So what was he lacking again? He was lacking a heart. Even if he had a heart, he would not know it because he wouldn't be able to feel it again. Because his outer exterior is now so hard and solid because he doesn't want to experience that pain again, that hurt. Does anybody know anyone that sort of has happened to? Has anyone experienced that? Because of being so hard, he no longer had emotions, and he no longer had empathy for people. So he was kind of difficult for people to even engage with. Therefore, he was alone. And then you have the scarecrow. What was he in need of? What did he lack? What did he want? A brain. So he didn't believe in himself because he couldn't think for himself. When you can't think for yourself, you have to get opinions of others and other people's opinions on you and their recommendations on you and what is that called? Validation from other people because you don't trust yourself. So he didn't have a brain, covered this area, right? This whole area. So he was lacking now insight, intuition, and foresight. So that not only affected his mental, it affected his spiritual. So everyone in that road, again, had a mission, a vision, and a desire. So again, Dorothy suggested for everyone to come with her and travel on the yellow brick road so that they could get to the wizard to help them fulfill their goals and dreams. Now, although the Wicked Witch of the West, she was not an invited companion, she was always with them every step of the way, correct? Yes. And how would you describe her? Her personality, her character?
Selfish.
Vindictive.
Selfish, yes.
Bitter.
Vindictive, bitter, and angry. Did she have any reasons to have those emotions?
Yeah, and he stole her sister.
She just lost her sister because of you. So yeah, she's gonna be on your behind, right? She lost her sister. I don't know what happened between her and the Tin Man, why she kind of, locked his situation. But she had some resentment over him wanting to be with this woman. So she's carrying bitterness, anger, and resentment. But she's a witch. And what the witches do, they can create anything out of something. So she has talent, and that made her powerful. So they arrive at the Emerald City, and they let the wizard know what they are in need of, and he agrees to help every last one of them. But first, they had to kill the wicked witch of the West. So let me stop referring to this all-knowing, all-wisdom dude as the wizard. And let's put ourselves in their situation. If we needed to invoke or call upon something or someone for counsel, wisdom, guidance, who would it be? Neter. Which Neter? Jehuti. And what would Jehuti say to us? He would say, refer to your book of Kemmunity. He would say, follow in the footsteps of your ancestor, for the mind is trained through knowledge. Behold their words in books, behold their words endured in books. Open and read them, and follow their wise counsel, for the one who is taught becomes skilled. Jehuti is letting us know that the path we seek and the road we're trying to follow and go upon was previously traveled by our ancestors. So go back, open up your records, open up your books, your family book of records, because there might be someone in your past, in your lineage, that has gone through the same things that you have gone through. Just open up your history so you can see. And a lot of times we pour libations, we talk about the ancestors upon whose shoulders we stand upon. We talk about the ancestors who lived and died in the struggle. They did that so that we would not have to live and die with that same struggle. So you remember your ancestors. Anytime you want to do healing work, you always want to incorporate ancestral work, because we always want to notice and learn from patterns, generational patterns. So what is it about my stepfather who has passed on and his character as a man that can help me as a man in the situation I'm in right now? What is it about my mother who has passed on that her repeated behaviors and her past personality traits I'm now seeing in myself that I am not comfortable with? We need to know and realize and find out these patterns so that we can begin to prune and cut some of these things. And now, so for everyone who picked up in a SAR scroll, I know we identified the leaders, the facilitators of this group earlier. I want you to raise your hand. Anyone in the SAR group. Look at each other's faces. Remember who they are. You can put your hands down. Everyone who picked a scroll for the Haru'or group, raise your hand. Look at each other. Remember those faces. The Satesh group, remember those faces. The Osset group, raise your hand. See who is in your group and remember those faces. Now for the Nebuchadnezzar group. Remember those faces. Where are you going with that? So you all are going to continue on your journey together as if you're traveling together like Dorothy and her friends, right? So what we need to realize is that although we are feeling great, we're on this comedic Weapon Pet New Year high, and we feel that we are unstoppable, we know, just from listening to the testimonies yesterday, that things happen. So just like the Wicked Witch of the East, she was just living her life, doing her own thing, and then bam! The house falls on her and kills either a part of her or kills her completely. And just like us, we could be doing okay. Bam! A health crisis. Bam! Loss of employment. Bam! The loss of a loved one. Bam! The end of a relationship that you did not expect to come. All of think these happen just out of the blue, right? All of a sudden, just like Shu, that came like Dorothy's cyclone. Shu is that aspect of the element that we refer to as wind. It takes us, it carries us, it has us spinning. We don't know if we're coming. We don't know if we're going. We don't know if we should stay. We don't know if we should leave. We don't know if we should be still and meditate. We don't know if we should be active and fight and be ready. We don't know. But I really shouldn't say things just happen out of the blue, because we were given readings, right? Every Tepret group had a specific reading done for that governing Neteru, which was brought forth by the priests and priestesses of our temple. And again, it serves to let us know what challenges may come. It tells us what to be cautious about, what to look forward to, but also what things we can incorporate, what spiritual tools we can incorporate to make our journey, our obstacles, our challenges when it comes up, how to navigate them more smoothly as if we had no resources at all. So what I want you to do now, because we're going back to using our imagination, I want you to envision this great big sun. And from the sun, I want you to envisuate, beautiful, bold sun rays emanating out of that one source, the sun, right? So on this path, this sun ray is a path of the Nebuchadnezzar group. This sun ray is a path of the Osset group. This sun ray now with the hands coming up to help you, the Aten, that's the Satesh group saying, come on. This Aten is for the Or group. And this Aten is for the Asar group. So not only did you individually choose that particular Tepret scroll, and once again, it chose you, so did everyone else in that group. You were divinely selected to be together, and you were all chosen to be together for a reason. Because we need one another for support. We need someone to hold us accountable. We need one another to encourage one another, especially when we come across and have setbacks in our lives and obstacles. Speaking of obstacles, let's talk about the witch again. So remember, every time Dorothy and her crew appeared to be making some progress and some strides, that witch was always somewhere around lurking, right? And she even had her own theme music. Remember how it went? And, you know, we're watching this on TV. They can't hear the music, but we can hear the music, right? So how do we do? We're yelling at the TV, run! She's coming! Put the dog down, the dog got 4 legs, save yourself! But what does she represent? Always there. I'm doing good, she's always there. What does she represent? Somebody said Isfat. Somebody said yourself. Opposition. She's our shadow. Our shadow. That part of herself that we're always running from and trying to escape and duck and deny. That part of ourselves that we are shameful of. That we don't want anyone else to see. That part of ourselves is really kind of based in truth. Right? That part of ourselves that we just don't want to confront and face because we're lacking sometimes the insight to do so, or we're lacking the courage to do so, or we're lacking the heart to do so. Or the foundation, the stability, the support to do so. So we don't face and confront certain things when we need to. But our obstacle is always a good thing. Is it always a bad thing? It is what it is. Right? And obstacles can come in a form, not just as things that we perceive as negative, because we choose to see obstacles as a negative thing. Obstacles can come in the form of the next group. Obstacles can come in the form of your ancestors, of the people around you, because an obstacle is just kind of stopping you and deterring you from doing things that you want to do, or accomplishing something, or completing something you want to complete. That's an obstacle. It's put in your path to stop you. For a reason. We may not know at the time what that reason is, but it's put in our path to kind of stop us. It's also put in our path to serve as motivation. Obstacles are put in our path to serve as protection and to serve as lessons. So when we're driving and we come across something that says detour, are you gonna drive right through it?
No.
What do you do? I didn't hear you.
Follow the detour.
You follow the detour, or they follow another way. You go a different direction, but do you still end up to your destination?
Yes.
Okay. So we taking another road trip. We driving again, and we come across railroad tracks. So the signals are up, the arms are down. Do you drive right through it? Do you turn around and find another direction? You pause. You wait. So sometimes obstacles are put in our path to say, no, you're going in the right direction. Just slow down and wait. That's all.
True.
That is another reason why I think we're chosen to work together in groups. Because sometimes we need one another to tell you, no, sister, brother, your plan is great, I understand, I support you, slow down and wait. You need to hear that sometimes from people. So the book of Ptah tells us that although people might plan for tomorrow, they do not know what will come to pass. But it is righteousness by which people are sustained. Therefore, if misfortune comes and you have been righteous with your friends will welcome you. Meaning, they will protect you and they will support you. It goes on to say, peace will not be found in a city where friends are forgotten and their deeds are not answered. And that speaks to there needing to be ma'at and reciprocity with their relationships with people. So one thing about the Temple of Anu, we love others. We love you out there. We have love for others, but we also love us in here. So because we love one another, there's a certain level of growth and expectation from one another that we expect to see. Because if we've been initiated together, we know what our expectations are. And we know what the standards are, not just for this temple, but for our spiritual practice, for our legacy. We know what it is to be committed. That's one thing we study is what does it mean to be committed. It's about having standards and discipline. So that's where we have expectations for one another. So we have little tolerance for BS, basically. And it's that level and that standard that sometimes drives people away. And when they leave, not just here, I'm talking now in general, but when they leave, sometimes we leave with the saying, well, I'm just going to move on because falcons fly alone. Have you heard that? I mean, is it true? Does falcons fly alone? Yeah, well. So let me tell you something about that. All right, because I too am a falcon. And some may say that I'm an old bird, even though I may not look like it, but I've been around. So I've seen some things throughout the years. And I've seen some falcons fly off alone, right into the open doors back through the church. And they mad. So you know how falcons fly, like we have determination, we got a mission, and we fly when we take in flight. But when they fly away, it's like a broken wing. Why? That wing is hurt. And maybe that's why you need to stick around so we can help heal you. So they fly off back through the church's doors, mad. Mad at their Kemetic or other spiritual family because they didn't support me. Because they weren't there for me. Because they wouldn't just let me be. Mediocre? No. Sitting in church mad now. Why are you there? You feel like you have nowhere else to go. And you're mad at yourself. There goes that inner conflict again. Because you know what you're feeling. That's that ancestral treason. Because you're now allowing others again to once again tell you who you are and who you are not when you already know. When you are surrounded by the right people, you are held to a higher standard. And when it's time for you to take accountability, your friends, your peoples Your spiritual brothers and sisters will let you know. We do it out of love. And sometimes it is done with tough love. But it's done out of love. So when Dorothy and them was easing down the road, we didn't really hear them saying, oh, why, Lord, me, why me again? No, they weren't trauma bonding.
True.
What they heard from one another was probably, I'll walk with you. I'll pray with you. I'll fast with you. I'll advocate for you. I believe in you. That's probably what they heard and felt from one another. Exactly a week ago, I got a call from one of my brothers in here. Compression. Just had a brain, one of them things. Compression. You call me. Regular thing we had to talk about. And then I said to him, Compression. Because I'm looking at myself on Facebook. I said, Compression. I'm gaining weight. And with the compassion in his voice, he was like, yeah, I can see it. And I felt, then he proceeded to say, that slow talk that he does, Sinette, you're getting fat. Why are you not taking better care of yourself? What is that about? So anybody else would have been highly offended and would hold a grudge on that man for 4 years and never walk back through these temple doors. Venom, hatred. And that's how it is. Sometimes our delivery is whatever, but if you know who the messenger is, how you going to take it a certain way? If he didn't say it, Mr. would have said it. You should have said you're getting fat. So somebody had to say it. I'd rather it's y'all than some stranger. But I know where it's coming from. Because I know what he really saying is, Sinette, you are a goddess in my eyes. Get back on your seat. Motivation, right? So, and he's also saying, you're putting on some weight. But I'll walk with you. I'll fast with you. I'll run you till you vomit and lose consciousness. I got you. But I believe in you. That's what you say. But the point is, he's not going to let me do this journey on my own. He'll turn your feet. But I will not be alone. So I was once that falcon who flew alone. I used to be called, Baba used to call me a satellite priestess, because you call, I come. You call, I come. And I enjoyed flying solo for a while. It's like, because I ain't like telling me what to do. I do my own rituals. I go in the book. I'm going to create my own rituals. Like, no, the structure was mine. But is it really tradition? Is it really? Because I got to figure out things on my own. I'm by myself. I'm the only priestess working. I didn't have to be alone. But I was off flying alone. And while I did not fly back through the open doors of the church, I did fly through the houses of other spiritual houses' doors. But fortunately for me, I knew how to navigate, turn back around, and fly my behind right back home. Right back through the open doors, waiting for me, through the shrine of Ptah, and through the open doors of the temple of Anu. So I give thanks to the shrine of Ptah and for the temple of Anu for having the open doors for someone who kind of loses their way temporarily and have enough love for not just yourselves, but for one another to say, there's no place like home. Now, we did say that falcons do fly alone, right? So let me explain a little bit how that works. So you know that feeling when you're coming into a certain level of consciousness and awareness, and the people around you just don't understand or want to understand you, right? So now it starts to feel like you're on a lonely road, but you're on a lonely spiritual path. You don't always have to be alone. It's just that with this journey back to here, it's a road you have to take sometimes because other people will kill and dim your spiritual light. And we talked about that yesterday. So I speak to my mother on the phone several times a week because we're close. We're very close. And it seems like every 6 months, I get a call from her, like a real panic tone, right? So it kind of goes like this. She calls, and it's not a normal person greeting, like, hi, hello, whatever. It's, tell me something! So whenever they start with that, you know some mess is coming. What, Mom? Tell me something! You don't believe in Jesus. I said, Mom, we have this conversation all the time. We've had this conversation a million times already. So that means that you don't believe in God. So that means that we don't believe in God. I'm the one they call to do the wedding ceremonies in our family, the funerals, to bless the food, to name some of the children, for the prayers. But in your heart, y'all are still questioning if I believe in God? Do you know how that hurts? So that means I'm just for entertainment purposes only. You know how that hurts? That is when look up and you take flight and you remember that you are that falcon and that you're flying alone on this path. Because I'm tight with my family. Extremely tight with my family. But if you look around, they're not here. I ain't invite not one of them. They're not part of this journey or path with me to the extent where you need to know where I am and everything I'm doing, because I'm alone with this. But I'm not alone. You see this room? But I'm not alone. And that's what it is when falcons fly alone. You gotta know when to fly alone. Sometimes it's necessary to take flight on your own so you can find yourself and look back to see that's where I need to be. That's who I need to devour and put them beneath my feet. But when you go off on your own and you rise and you take flight, you're able to see, right? You see externally and you see internally, and then you can find your way back home. And hopefully they're through open doors. I chose this story today because I wanted us to know that when we think we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, or we're going through shameful situations or hurtful situations or things that we just can't question or explain, that we are never alone. I want you to know that you are worthy enough, that you have a group of brothers and sisters that will understand when you sometimes need to separate. Take your space. But know that we love you that much, we're still here when you need us. Just come back home. The moral of the story, my story, your story, history, is to stay on your path. Cultivate a personal relationship with Netter, the next group, and your ancestors, so that when it's time to deal with obstacles, when it's time to fight battles, which most of the time is within ourselves, we have the tools to be able to be victorious. You are an active participant in your success and lack thereof. So I want you to repeat after me. I shall not be seized by my own arms.
I shall not be seized by my own arms.
I shall not be led away by my own hands.
I shall not be led away by my own hands.
No person.
No person.
No entity.
No entity.
No shining ones.
No shining ones.
No ancient ones.
No ancient ones.
Can do any harm unto me.
Can do any harm unto me.
I come forth advancing.
I come forth advancing.
I know my name.
I know my name.
I know my name.
I know my name.
I am yesterday.
I am yesterday.
I am today.
I am today.
I am tomorrow.
I am tomorrow.
Seer of millions of years is my name.
Seer of millions of years is my name.
Traveling twice along the path of Haru.
Traveling twice along the path of Haru.
Did you hear yourselves?
Two.
Did you feel that?
Two.
So basically what you just said is that you have the physical, mental, and spiritual authority over your own life.
Yes.
So you have to think and act like you have already conquered your fears. We are going gonna go through challenges and struggles this coming new year, as it says in the reading. But we will also be victorious, right? And when we come across things that we feel that we cannot handle, I want you to turn to the book of vindication. And you say, I will never obey any evil words of power, and nothing harmful will come to me. I have ascended and have set my enemies under my feet, that I may exercise power over them, in accordance with that which Ra has commanded of me. Sanjeti, what is your name?
Sanjeti Ankara Ari Nefer,
Meaning?
the one who is the brother of the Jet Pillar.
Ma'akra.
Yes.
What's his first name?
Sanjeti.
Sanjeti. Okay. Finish your name?
The living one of Ra, and Ari Nefer, the doer of good.
Ma'akra, what is your name?
What about Ma'akra and Nadbentah?
Meaning?
The full name is one who sees the spirit and light of Ra in all things to establish it on earth.
What is her name? What's her first name?
Ma'akra.
Ma'akra. I am Shemset Ra Adi Nefer. I am the one who follows Ra and does great work. I am one who follows Ra and does great work. And that is what Ra commands of me. So if you know what Ra has commanded of you, that means you know your name, right? In other situations where you feel like my shortcomings are overtaking me, or you have people in your life that, again, is trying to dim your spiritual light, again, refer to the book of vindication. And you say, I shine like Ra daily. I establish truth and expel falsehood. One simple sentence. You're good. Right? This is why Yehudi says, go back to your books, right? Follow the footsteps of your ancestors. Open, read, take counsel. It's all there. He said, follow in the footsteps of your ancestors, for the mind is trained through knowledge. Behold their words endured in books. Open and read them and follow their wise counsel. For the one who is taught becomes skilled. How do we know this? How do we know this? Because it was written in stone. It was written on temple walls. It was written on papyrus for us, by us. That's how we know. So now, to tie this all together, as we usher in our new year, typically what people do during the new year, right? They set New Year's resolutions. And usually, sometimes activities around that involves journaling. It involves, like you'll see online, there's like vision board workshops or vision board parties. And with these vision boards, they always include some type of category that includes travel, new house, vacation, money, new relationship, getting my health back in order. And these categories, it kind of reminds people of what to focus on. And being able to see things and envision things with your eye and add to it, like, so we're cutting out papers, we're adding to it, we're actually seeing what we want to manifest. The issue with that sometimes, there's people who have been trying to manifest the same thing over and over and over for years. You have a collection of vision board and you got the same goals up there and not being able to make headway. That is where your group of peoples come in. What's going on with you? Why you keep saying you want this, but you're having difficulty? Like you have someone to show you the pattern that you're not seeing. What is it about me that I'm doing or not doing why I'm not getting further of where I need to be? Why I'm not accomplishing or manifesting what it is I want to accomplish and manifest? So I feel for us, in each Tech Red group, the first sessions are usually about getting to know each other, getting to know the Tech Red, getting to know the Neteru, the governing Neter of our individual groups. If we create our own individual vision boards as some part in our journey, hopefully early on, now would be a good time because we're in a full moon energy, we're setting intentions, we're setting our New Year's resolutions. Create that sun, whether it's on paper or even on the computer, we can do it, right? Create the sun, and you are in the center of it. Because again, we're trying to get back to center. We're trying to get back whole. And out of the sun rays, it's going to address the physical aspect of ourselves. This sun ray is going to address the mental aspect of ourselves.
And this Sunday is going to express the spiritual aspects of ourselves. Every aspect, everything, every category and topic that our reading covers for us, make that an individual category so we can see our challenges. We can see our growth. We can talk about it as a group. So I can know how I can support you, and you can know how to support me. So that's my suggestion. I'm pulling rank. That's what we're going to do. I heard Sanjetti, our sister Sue, once say, the image of the thing carries the spirit of the thing. So let's go create a physical image of what we want to manifest, of who we want to see, and who we want to become. Please stand as we close out. Arms up. Everyone say Shimmy Matep.
Shimmy Matep.
Dienu Uncle Jasineb.
Dienu Uncle Jasineb.
Men cross right over left, our women cross left over right. Open. Give energy around the room. Bring it back into the body and we ground it out. Everyone count with me.
Wa, Sanu, Shemet.
Thank you. Hope you appreciate and enjoyed and got something out of this message. Received something today.
That was an amazing message. Thank you, Facebook and YouTube, for joining us. If you all got something out of this conversation, we appreciate the reciprocity that you sent in the form of your donations. Donations can be sent via Cash App, $ Temple of Anu, or PayPal and Zelle using our email address, templeofanu@gmail.com. We will see you on Sunday, September 1st. We will not be live streaming on Sunday, August 18th. So what answer? Should we